Greetings to everyone watching us. I'm Emel Al-Badawi, a Tatawwar's ambassador, joining you from the Kingdom of Bahrain. I'm also a 2020-2021 second place winner, the founder of the PharmaBot, and the communication manager at the Youth Wave MENA. I'm also a public speaker, writer, thinker, and most importantly, it's my pleasure to be your host for today. Welcome to the seventh episode of Yes, it's the seventh episode or the Youth Empowerment Series, where we say yes to a better future by focusing on empowering and inspiring the youth of the generation to come up with effective and efficient solutions by sharing thoughts with experienced, gifted, and bright minded experts and program ambassadors. Brought to you by Tatawwar itself. Tatawwar, brought to you by HSBC in partnership with Potential.com, is an interactive online and face to face program that brings together students aged between 15 to 18, schools, parents, and the business community to innovate for a sustainable future by addressing the three United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs. One, health and well being. Two, clean water and sanitation. Three, climate change. Tatawwur, meaning to develop in Arabic, and encourages students to learn and apply core future skills in the areas of future innovative design thinking, financial literacy, critical thinking, and entrepreneurship. Using a blended approach to empower the youth, Tatawwur helps them take challenges they are facing in their communities and turn them into innovation opportunities and chances. The past three editions of the program have seen more than 10,000 students from over 2,800 schools across the Middle East and North Africa region that register in the blended learning approach and experience. Having an online and mobile first strategy helps Ottawa reach remote regions and makes it accessible to all students around the world around these regions. After building their solutions on the online platform, the talented youth with the best solutions are invited to workshops in the closest cities to them. Given the impact the Tower had on the communities across the MENA region, it has been recognized internationally, winning several prestigious awards. The program won two gold awards at the Gulf Sustainability Awards at 2021 for Best Learning and Education Program and the Best Community Development, a bronze award in the International CSR Excellence Awards, and was shortlisted in Global Good Awards for Education Excellence and Special Judges Award for Innovation categories. And we made it to the finals in the International Business Awards and Warlton Reimagined Education Awards, both happening in December. This December. Kudos, a big round of applause and appreciation to the Tower team for achieving such amazing things. So, students, make sure to finish the online part. You will not only learn, but you will get the certificate from an internationally awarded program. Moving on. Successful entrepreneurs can be young, adults, or older. There's always the chance for young entrepreneurs to turn their mind-altering and eye-opening ideas into successful businesses. If this happens in disadvantaged communities, the impact can be huge and transformational, especially to the economic and social development in these communities. The social impact is one of the main reasons why entrepreneurship is attractive to young people. There are countless reasons why people decide at a specific moment in their lives to start their own businesses. Some view a good business opportunity, while others feel challenged by several issues. Nonetheless, no one can deny that entrepreneurial skills are skills for life. Whether it's the opportunity to learn the fundamentals of teamwork, networking, problem solving, critical thinking, innovation, or basically an endless list that I could list, but we don't have enough time for that. So, for this main reason, I present to you Umayma Mashraf, a teen social entrepreneur based in the Kingdom of Bahrain, who came out to be as one of the top 20 finalists of the Tatawwur program in its second edition, the 2019-2021. She's the founder of Youth Wave MENA, the region's first youth-led sustainable innovation hub and experience playground for young startup founders. And also Samah Abdullah, a teen social entrepreneur based in Egypt, who's also one of the top finalists of the Tatawwar program in its first ever editions. And she's also its second place winner. She has already raised capital through crowdfunding for her innovative solution to resolve the water crisis. Samah's WMS, also known as Water and Money Saver, a water management and conserving water mobile application, my pardon, in both Arabic and English is launched and has been chosen for several incubation programs. I mean, I'm proud. And also Mr. Christian Kago, one of the most amazing teachers ever. I mean, he's my teacher. But other than that, Mr. Christian has a bachelor degree in Science of Business Administration, major in Finance Management, and a master's degree in Business Administration. He taught financial analysis, capital markets, financial controlship, and management for 3 years in university. He's also an advisor of the college student organization. Mr. Kiego is now teaching business and accounting for more than 2 years in the Kingdom of Bahrain. And I can't doubt our audience are already on the edge of their seats to hear more from you guys. So let's start with Samah. Hey there, Samah. Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Samah.
How's everything?
Amazing. How about you?
Amazing.
As usual. So I vividly remember when I slept through your DMs on Instagram during my finals, being absolutely inspired and overwhelmed with your achievements. Ready to inspire others?
Ready.
Woohoo. So, number one, how did it all start? Finding about Tatawwar, coming up with WMS, winning Tatawwar, and now the founder of your own mobile app. I mean, walk me through that.
First, let me start my answer with the same answer that I gave to the amazing Tatawwar team when we got through the finals. Unexpected, definitely unexpected journey I had faced. First, when I read through my teacher that Tatawwar is open up for the very first time, and I didn't quite understand what is the program or what are the procedures or what are the levels and these things. So actually, I know, but I was really, really into water scarcity. Like I believe in fate. Like 2 months ago, from knowing about Tatawwar, I just got really into water scarcity through a situation that I was in. I saw a poor village that was suffering from not having enough good water. And then I decided that I want to do something. I want to participate or doing something, but I didn't know where should I start or where should I begin. And then Tatawwar happened. So without thinking about anything, I just enrolled myself. I went through the program that was, for me, it was like an eye-opening program. It helped me to see the world. It helped me to see the problems. It made me understand the problem in order to solve it properly. So during like understanding the problem, WMS came to light. And actually, I was like doubting about WMS, but I say, hey, let's not think about it. Just like, let's work on it. Let's think about the problem, try to solve it, and you will understand and know how to do these things in the Tatawwar program. So if you are not registered yet, register. I highly recommend you this amazing self-learning program that helps you to learn all the most essential things that you need to know about when like developing your own project. And then I go to the finals. It was unexpected. I learned lots of skills. I mean, you have been the same journey as well. But yeah, it was like an eye opening. Like it's first thing I just know the problem, and then I discovered myself. I discovered that hey, I can have my own project. Hey, I can do that. I was like me, business and stuff, never. But like yeah, I can do this. And then after winning Tatawwar, I just carried on precious moments and precious feelings that I want to continue feeling this feeling. Leaving an impact for me is the true happiness. So I carried on with the crowdfunding stuff. And course under the supervision of the amazing Tatawwar team and the potential team as well, specifically. And then I succeeded in raising a capital fund. And I wanted to take it to the next level. I was not satisfied at that point. I decided to make a brave step, actually, to join an incubation program. And for me, it was like me and my little project, like we will join an incubation program and like deal with real entrepreneurs. I mean, the ecosystem. I just didn't think about it again. And I joined the incubation program. And I've already talked about this in details during the webinars of the last years. But yeah, it was a journey, a true journey. And then I ended up being in the top 3 winners. And yeah, being like the other top 2 was like people in their 40s and 50s. And I was like, hey guys, I'm Samah Abdullah. I'm still attending my university and it's going. Yeah, you can be an entrepreneur at any age. It's like, as long as you work hard, as long as you have a passion, as long as you have a purpose, as long as you are truly in it, you can do it at any age. So I decided to be my own representation. I decided to be the youngest one and yet leave an impact and yet be from the top 3 ones. So yeah, in conclusion, that was the journey with lots of details missing. But if I keep talking about it, it might take like hours and hours and hours and hours.
I mean, I could listen forever. Tell me more. Tell me
Mm.
more. I mean, similar to your experience, Samah, when I saw Tatawwar, I was like, me, business, that's never a together thingy. But
I
here we
totally
are.
understand.
But
Yes,
here
here we
we
are.
are.
Yeah.
Number 2, please, my beautiful Samah, walk me through a challenge you faced during Tatawwar and then during the launch of the WMS. And was there a moment you felt you couldn't fight anymore? And how did you overcome it?
Where should I begin? Actually, where should I begin? I mean, entrepreneurship has that magical thing. It's like you, at some moments, you feel like everything is over, and it's like, oh my God, I cannot come over that obstacle. But next day, you wake up and say, hey, let's solve this. Let's do some solutions. Let's think. Let's brainstorm. So an entrepreneurship life is like achieving and overcoming obstacles and solving problems. Like you said, the business skills, it's about problem solving, networking, and lots of things in between, and learning. So problem solving, learning, and networking. These are the 3 crucial things. So the challenge, oh no, where should I begin? It's like, actually, I will tell you that one. That one is it's my favorite one to actually tell. It was during when I tried to go through my first incubation. Actually, at the very beginning, they refused me because they thought that my idea was missing some details that would preventing it from making it happen. And they told me that you need to be connected to the water company and things like that. And I decided that this is not going to be my ending. I said, hey, but what if I solve this problem? Will I be in? And I said, yeah, sure. If you solve this problem and if you overcome this problem, you will be in. And actually, but they say, hey, best of luck. It's really hard to solve at the end of the call. And like I learned in Tatawwar, there's nothing called impossible. Actually, I was like feeling like my feet is like stepping on the ground, and I'm feeling like I need to solve this. I need to think of a solution. I know there's a solution, but and I need to find it. So actually, I used a thing that some of you might think it's a disadvantage. I used being student. Being a student is a huge advantage because you are surrounded by many experts and you have the time and the ability to access them easily after the lecture or after a lesson. So I went to my professor and I told her about, she's an amazing professor, by the way, and I told her about the problem and I just asked her to brainstorm with me. And actually, after like 20 minutes, we came up. She helped me to came with a solution. But I needed to make sure of this solution. So like she helped me and connected me with an expert in that field. And yeah, I made sure of that solution, and I messaged the incubation and said, hey, that problem that you were talking about, I solved it in 1 2 3 4 5 6. And it actually, I solved it through a third party. I won't go to the details, but actually it is possible to solve impossible solutions. But yeah, and then I got through this incubation, and later I was one of its top 3 winners. So I know it's not permanent. You are the one, you are the problem, and you are the solution. The solution exists inside every one of us. All we have to do is just keep searching for it, because you will find it, and I'm sure of it.
I mean, when I said I was absolutely inspired and overwhelmed, I mean, I was not lying. I mean,
Thank you.
so you of course reflect that picture of a successful young social entrepreneur, which like underline the word young like a million times because you did it, and I need to clap for you for that. I
Thank
will be.
you.
Number three, during the kickoff event when we were interviewing Medea, she told me that one of the most beautiful things about entrepreneurship or social entrepreneurship is that it's such an emotional journey. And I remember that sentence to this day, and I will be remembering it till I reach my entrepreneurial journey. But for you, being a young social entrepreneur, Samah, describe your entrepreneurship journey in 3 words.
Definitely unexpected, overwhelming, but excited.
Ooh, overwhelming. Why so?
But excited. Because being a student and being a social entrepreneur, you have lots of things to do. You mean like you have your own study life? I mean, I'm in computer engineering. I don't need to tell you about the stress we are having over there. But yes, at the same time, being an entrepreneur, it's like putting more hours and working through your solutions and askings and going for opportunities and knocking doors. That takes time. And like, I have to say something. Opportunity was come at the right time. I mean, I had a chance to enter my first incubation a week before my finals. And actually, there was a pitching day at the same day of my final. So I was like having the blazer waiting for me in the car. And 2 hours later, I was pitching in the Marriott Hotel for my application. So yeah, you have like that dual life. It is overwhelming, but it is exciting. So here's another good part. If you look at it with a positive way of thinking, like you are doing the best of both worlds. You are sharing an idea. You are trying to leave an impact in society. I mean, when I stop working in my project, I feel depressed actually because it gives me power. For me, happiness is sharing happiness. Actually, you only achieve a happiness through sharing happiness, and making other people happy is through solving their problems. So if you solve people's problems, they will be happy, and then you will be happy. So here's my source of energy: helping people.
I mean, you radiate positivity, my dear. For your, I mean, when you said your happiness, your source of happiness comes from making other people happy, and you're not just making them happy, you're making their lives better, Samah. You're
Yes.
solving one of the most critical and vital problems that we face today. The water crisis is not something easy or something that we should forget about and then just like delayed for
Mm.
tomorrow. No, we need a solution now. We're Mother Earth needs us. We
If
need
we
her.
didn't do it, who will?
Exactly. We are the leaders of tomorrow. We need that. Yes,
Yes.
we're learning today, but we're leading tomorrow. So yeah, last but not least, what is one lesson you learned from going through this inspiring story that you think it's vital and critical for somebody who basically for somebody to know about if they are still contemplating the idea of being a young social entrepreneur.
I mean, like, hey, look at me. Like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, if someone told me that I will be doing my own project and I will be like pitching in front of investors, and if I will be like a winner in an incubation program and I will do my own business plan and stuff, and I'll say, hey, Hey, impossible. Me and business, not in a one sentence. But actually, there's a thing that I really, really need to highlight on is unexpected things always happen. Like fate is full of surprises. Like life happens when you are making other plans. So my life happened when I was like a computer engineering student and I was like behind my laptop, like coding and stuff. But actually, I discovered that this is not my edge. It's part of my edge, as this is not my edge. My edge is like in doing stuff and leaving impact in spreading ideas and helping the world to be a better world or a better place. So actually, this is me. This is myself, and I felt more myself and more me during the Tatawwar program. And because of that feeling, I trying to make myself in the right place by starting my own business, by leaving an impact. That's the most important part. So I found myself as a social entrepreneur, but I didn't want to at the very beginning, but I found myself that I love to be a social entrepreneur. So life happens when you are making other plans. Never say no, and fate is full of surprises and unexpected opportunities.
I mean, sometimes saying no when you were said no, when somebody said to you, no, Samah, that was another way of, yes, I'll try harder, but don't forget my face, I'm coming back again.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think our audience are most definitely appreciating that, Samah, and such an uplifting, encouraging, and I mean, a story that made my heart very fluttering around with butterflies, to be honest. Personally, I'm so grateful for these words, and I'm sure the audience are. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Amal, for having me. And you are doing an amazing job, as always.
I mean, thank you. So, Mr. Ian, fun fact, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Christian is the main reason why I'm hosting guest episodes, a second place winner, and the Tatawwar ambassador. Sir, up to the stars. Hi, sir. How are you?
Yeah, hello Amal. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great. So, by the way, we have a
That's
class
great.
tomorrow.
Yes.
So, well, it's pretty clear, rather crystal clear, that there is 180 degrees shifts in Amal, your students. So, what made you consider Tatawwur to be a useful and a beneficial program for your students?
Actually, it was like end of November last year when I heard of the program from a colleague of mine, and upon reading the details and exploring the parts of the program, to be honest, at first I was kind of hesitant to share it with you, my students, to participate with it, as I know you were having your projects and the due date during that program was less than a month already. However, as an educator, I know that my students could benefit from joining such extracurricular activity. More so that it could be a platform wherein you can actually integrate your subjects in developing an idea that could also create an impact to the world, no? Also, so that's basically the reason. So I shared it to my students, and some of you actually took the challenge, and you're one of them, no?
I mean, here we are. We expected the unexpected. I mean, it was such an emotional, as I told you before, hills and valleys, hills and valleys of
Exactly.
going through that journey, a journey full of restless nights, endless hours of working. But I'm proud to say that we are here. Yay!
And you're doing
Yay!
good, actually.
Thank you. Thank you again. So, sir, number two, as a business and accounting teacher and a major, do you think Tatawwur is a good step, a good first step for youth entering the world of entrepreneurship, especially young entrepreneurship and business, and why so?
Okay, so from the perspective of a business teacher, of course, I couldn't agree more with the functionality of the program, the students, okay, who would like probably to venture out entrepreneurship and business. Well, I actually remember the lessons that I gave to your classes, okay, from before. Like, say, for example, when we were able to talk about how to develop product, doing market research, if you can remember, okay, how you're supposed to add value to products, like what are the things that you need to do, like even creating prototype before, during, and after you create a prototype, like the details that we've talked about it, they'll actually going to learn it during the program. Okay, even though they do not have any background of business, they could actually learn from the platform. Okay, and actually the program will master and practice how to come up with the use of accounting as well, wherein you have been able to come up with how to create a product cost of, say for example, your pharmabot. Okay, you have created the the part of finances on that. Okay, so basically the program could put theory into practice for students, and I think that's the best way to learn for students, which is learning by doing.
Yes, I couldn't even, I'm not exaggerating when I say most of your lessons, sir, are still engraved in my mind. And I think most of my classmates would do agree with that. And when I saw Tatawwar, when I was doing it, I was like, oh, I remember seeing that somewhere. Even though I had minimal, I would say minimal amount of information and knowledge about business, trial and error was one of the most effective ways that I learned. I remember doing the business sheet for my project a couple of times, and Daria would tell me, "Oh, Emma, that's not correct. You need to redo it." I remember that, but the trial and error part of it was just amazing because that's why today when I stand in front of an when I will be hopefully standing in front of an investor or I'm discussing my project with an expert, I'm pretty sure of whatever I'm saying because I've tried it, I've learned about it, I've read it, I have tried it with my own hands, and I'm confident to say I'm sure of what I'm doing. So yeah.
Exactly, because students tend to remember things when they do it, not only by reading it, but by exploring and doing it by themselves.
Exactly, hands-on experience, always, always, always. That's it. So yeah, number three, sir. What's the importance of financial literacy for us as students and youth?
Okay, so basically, financial literacy for me is actually very important. I treat it as equally important as teaching kids good manners. Children are actually prone in making mistakes at a very young age. And if they do not have enough knowledge, like let us say spending wisely or managing their savings, they may actually caught up in bad situations in the future. Just like, say, for example, again, when we discuss in our class, like having lessons on personal finance, the essentials of credit, like this, and probably in the future, like learning on how to make use of idle funds. Because of course, we do not want our money to just go and sit there and not working.
I mean, I absolutely agree,
Yeah.
sir. When you learn about financial literacy, you're not learning it to become an entrepreneur. Yes, it's one of the fundamental basis of becoming a social entrepreneur, but it's also you being aware of what's happening around you. It's like your duty, your responsibility to be aware of what you're doing, what's happening around you. So I absolutely agree. And
Exactly.
yes, and I mean, I study my
And it's
lessons.
very practical.
It's very practical, extremely practical. I do agree. Number four, last but not least, could you please elaborate on how extracurricular activities and programs encourage your students and basically any student to widen their perspective? And how are extracurricular activities useful for later on in life when they're working or having their own business, I would say?
Okay. So, well, actually, I would like to start first with the common notion of some students who are really not into joining extracurricular activities as they are always saying they couldn't juggle that of their academic performance with that of the extracurricular activities that are being presented to them. But actually, to say it with everyone, okay, extracurricular helps students in their professional life in the future. It's actually going to increase self-awareness and confidence. It can also develop personal and social skills, like say, for example, for you, okay, developing leadership and teamwork. Okay, as a teacher, I believe that the future of students, okay, is not only anchored on what they are learning or what you are learning on the four corners of our room. Your success actually lies on having an opportunity to learn life skills. Like say, for example, what Tatawwar have given you, okay, so that you can apply it in your daily lives and more importantly, to become successful in your future. So but in general, my advice would be for everyone, for students, is that when you decide to participate in extracurricular activities, just make sure that you maintain a balance with your academic performance, your activities, because some students, when they participate on extracurricular activities, they tend to forget that they are student at first.
Exactly.
Okay, so there must be a balance between the two.
Most definitely. I mean, sir, you just nailed responding to these questions. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, thank you so much, sir. Not just for answering these questions, but for number one, believing that I could be something, that I could help, that I could hold a title, and encouraging me to take this huge step to a path guiding journey that I hope that's not the end of it. Yay. And it's not the end of it.
Inshallah,
So,
it is really not the end of it.
so thank you very much, sir. My
Yeah.
dear co-host Umayma, could you please reveal yourself to the world, please?
Hello.
Hello. Furthermore, beautiful audience, dear Umayma, what did you prepare for us this week?
Well, a lot of exciting things that I'm really excited to talk about. But first of all, I just wanted to take a minute to say how amazing it was to hear Samah and Mr. Christian earlier. And I just want to thank them for being our guests today and for sharing their insights and story. As always, MLU2, you've been an incredible host. And yeah, now for me, today we'll have a look at the social enterprise in a world disrupted and why social entrepreneurs are taking the lead. In a world of perpetual disruption, a focus on surviving restricts one's aspirations to accepting each new reality and working within it to accomplish what an organization has always done. A survival mindset views disruptions as point in time crisis to be addressed with the expectation that the organization will revert to business as usual once the crises are over. Organizations with a survival mindset aim to deal with the reality that the world imposes. It's about doing what's necessary to succeed today. The pursuit of thriving, in contrast, orients organizations towards welcoming each new reality and using it to reimagine norms and assumptions in ways that were not possible before. A thrive mindset recognizes that disruption is continuous rather than episodic and embraces disruption as a catalyst to drive the organization forward. Organizations with a thrive mindset aim to create new realities that they choose for themselves. It's about doing what's possible, not to succeed just today, but also to dominate tomorrow. Moving on, improving the world and the bottom line simultaneously has never been more on trend. Social entrepreneurship, the concept of applying business techniques and market mechanisms to solve social problems such as poverty, violent crime, or environmental threats, has been around for decades. The practice received a significant public boost. However, in 2003, when a group of NGO heads were invited to the first ever social entrepreneur session at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Since then, the idea has been embraced globally by businesses, governments, and nonprofits alike. The result is a new breed of socially conscious business models and a rising demand for organizational leaders who can steer innovation along such lines. Social entrepreneurship is gradually transforming into mainstream entrepreneurship. Over the past few years, we've seen an upsurge in the number of social initiatives. In fact, social entrepreneurs all over the world are increasingly realizing that they have the expertise, knowledge, and persistence to make a huge impact on the lives of the people in their society and also across the globe. Today, social enterprises contribute to all facets of society, offering supportive and life-changing facilities, engaging a massive number of individuals, and generating millions of dollars. Social entrepreneurship is important because it provides a framework for businesses to find their own success in the pursuit of helping others. Social entrepreneurs prove that profitability goals are not all about serving those on top. Instead, the greatest business success stories are the ones that create a better world for everyone. And that's all from me for this week. Thank you.
Jaw drop. Jaw drop. Thank you, Maywa. Thank you very much, Mayma. Now everyone is equipped with what's new, and you tend to amaze me every single time we have the insights part of our webinars. And when somebody comes and asks me again, Emil, can I make an impact by being a social entrepreneur? Yes, you can. No matter of your age, no matter of where you are, just have a problem, solve it to create a better life for everyone. That's the key to the lock, basically. Now, for the topic of discussion for this week, ladies and gentlemen, dear Umayma, dear Samah, Mr. Christian, I want you all to elaborate with me. Well, it's a small mini debate. Well, I want you to discuss with me how big of an impact can social entrepreneurs and their enterprises have on their societies first, and then on the world as a whole. Could I start with Mr. Christian? What do you think of it?
Okay. Well, actually, the idea or the generation of this social enterprise is great. It's actually excellent because it's not only basing on the main idea of a business, which is basically making a profit and of course satisfying that of their customers, but basically I like how social entrepreneurship are expounding in this time right now, because they get to help the different advocacies. Say, for example, the chosen advocacies in Tatawwar, which in support with the SDGs, with the three of the main SDGs of UNESCO. Okay, so I hope to actually see more of this kind of social entrepreneurs in the future.
I mean, me too. Me too. Moving on to one of our beautiful young social entrepreneurs. Samah, what do you think of the impact that we, youth, social entrepreneurs could make and bring back to the world?
I mean, never underestimate a young social entrepreneur or youth. I mean, like you said, youth are the future. We are the leaders of the future. And actually, think about it. And now times, I mean, startups and enterprises and are like leading the world. I mean, like Uber. Who would ever thought that this business would like be taking the world by storm, and other startups? And yes, most of them, like, if you think about it, there's no age for starting a business or leaving an impact. We can leave impact at any age unless we have the enough knowledge and enough support. So youth, in my opinion, have a power which is called time energy. Like, we have lots of time, lots and lots and lots of time. We don't have that much of responsibilities. We don't have a house to feed or like a bill to pay. So that leaves a huge room for creativity and for energy and for power. But yes, at the same time, we can do lots of things if we got the enough support and if we got the enough like education and knowledge. We can change the world, and we will change the world.
I mean, easy task. Well, not that easy, but like we're trying to do that. I
Yeah,
mean,
we're trying,
we're
but
trying.
we're hoping to do
We're
this, but we are.
we're hoping because this tomorrow is ours. It's not anybody else's. It's ours, and it's our responsibility to basically try to model down or try to shape tomorrow the way we want it to be. We don't want to wake up the next morning and say, "Oh, no water, no electricity," and we're basically living in a disaster. No, we want
Yeah.
a better world. So
Yes,
thank
like,
you.
like they said, the crazy ones who think that they can change the world are actually the ones who change the world. So
Exactly.
yeah.
They're the smartest people. They're the wisest people. Yes. Thank you very much, Samah, for your insights. Umayma, my dear co-host. I mean, I'm stressing on the dear because she's very dear. My dear co-host. So, what do you think of the impact that young social entrepreneurs can have, considering that you are one beautiful, successful social entrepreneur, and also through the Youth Wave MENA platform?
First of all, I think it's pretty clear by now, based on the previous two great answers, that social entrepreneurship has a lot of importance and that age is not a factor when it comes to creating an impact. I kind of have a different take on this question, and I'd like to share that with you. So, first of all, Ahmed, I just wanted to say I love how you framed the question as their societies first and then the world. That's really what the beginning of entrepreneurship is like. Challenges. We look for these challenges, and you won't believe the number of challenges there are and how many we're going through unless you've truly noticed it and cared enough. I say that because a lot of the time there's this thought that entrepreneurship is really exciting and we can be revolutionary and bold, and that's true, that's definitely true, but the reality is that it's a lot tougher than we think, and that there's a lot that goes on than how big of an impact. I think what we should be asking ourselves as youth or as young aspiring entrepreneurs is that, what impact is it that we're trying to create, and what for? Who for? What exactly are we trying to solve, and why are we trying to solve this? I want to bring in Samah as an example, and you yourself. I mean, you've taken a real life, example of like a situation or a challenge, and you've used that as an opportunity to kind of innovate. And there you go, you have a product, and now you're a social entrepreneur yourself. And that's kind of it. That's being where you are at that time and taking that as an opportunity, I would say, is very important. And I also want to repeat something that I said earlier about truly noticing and caring enough. We need to know that not everyone will be ready to take on big challenges or risks. And if you decide to do that, and if you decide you want to create an impact, don't think about how big or small it is, because if you're solving something quite obviously needed to be solved, chances are it's always a big impact. And I say to start from where you already are and what you need to do right then and there, because those are where the opportunities lie and where you need to be and take action. I hope that was a good answer.
Good. I mean, darling, that was more than good. Especially considering that, yes, when we ask people about when, well, let me frame it the other way around. When people ask me, when youth from my society, from my surroundings ask me, Emil, can I really make an impact? Don't think about it that way. Because if you have a problem and you have a solution, you've saved people's lives, you've made people's lives better. Think about it that way. I mean, not as Umayma just said, don't think about the how vastly huge the impact is going to look like, but just look at that you're going to solve a problem a group of people is already suffering from. And because we're focusing at three main SDGs: climate, health and well-being, and water and sanitation, and we cannot deny that these three goals are goals that the human race is looking after for tons and tons and tons and tons and piles of years. So yes, we can make an impact. We can change first our societies, then the world. And look at examples around you. I mean, we have a couple of them, but just look deeper and you're going to find hundreds, but thousands, but millions more. Tomorrow is ours. And ladies and gentlemen, here comes Lower to the picture, giving you the chance, giving you, yes, you watching us behind the screen anonymously, yes, we're giving you the chance to turn world struggles, pardon me, world struggles and obstacles to life-changing opportunities that you should not miss. Today, Tatawwar is giving you the tool to illustrate a better life. As we said, society's first, then the world. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen watching us, we have to leave. But students can now register for the program at www.tatawar.com. Schools, parents, NGOs, and any other partners who would love and like to be a part and participate in empowering the next generation of social entrepreneurs are welcomed and invited to get in touch with us through the website. Please follow us on our social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now on TikTok at Tatawwar ME. That is TATAWWARME. And join us next Saturday at the same time for another exciting episode for you behind the screen, aspiring to be a next young social entrepreneur. Stay tuned for more amazing things to happen. Stay curious until our next meeting, and bye.